Cash App for sponsoring this video. I would say I use Cash App at minimum several times a week, so I use it a lot to work with like vendors, hairstylists, makeup artists, especially when it's someone that I know and I work with regularly and trust, because it's pretty straightforward to me. There was like basically zero learning curve when I first started using Cash App, and most, if not all of my friends and like vendors that I work with have it, so it's kind of a no-brainer. So download Cash App in the App Store or in Google Play with no hidden fees and a free to order debit card. It feels like a makeover for your finances. Thank you again to Cash App for sponsoring this video. Tabitha Brown is an Emmy-nominated actress, vegan food personality, mother, wife, New York Times bestselling author, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm so excited to have Tabitha on my channel to learn more about how she found healing through food and how through faith, perseverance, and being her authentic self led her to where she is today. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. I told y'all we was gonna be coming back to the kitchen doing something I never do, but only because of my girl, who many of you all know and love, Miss Tabitha Brown.
Hello there.
This is the only person that will get me to come back.
Come on in the kitchen and do something.
Because self-care for you, Tabitha, is in a lot of ways being in the kitchen.
It is.
Exactly.
How I treat myself and what I put inside my body.
I've been bringing women and different people from different walks of life onto the channel, talking about like, what do you do for self-care? Like, how do you define self-care? What makes you feel good? And it's really important to me to have these conversations with different people, so we all get to see that self-care doesn't just look like one thing. Like, yes, we can drop money on the Birkins and the Kellys, honey, but how are you feeding yourself inside too? Like, looking good is one thing,
yes,
but you don't have to spend or have tangible things to feel good.
Preach to the people.
Yeah, so I was quite delighted when you said self-care for you was being in the kitchen. Can you, before we talk about what we're doing, explain why that's your self-care?
I mean, for me, food changed my life, right? And saved my life. So I'm from the South, so I grew up eating just about any and everything. But in the last 6 years, I went vegan because I was sick, and it was the thing that helped save my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I feel like for Southern people, when you say vegan, Southern people and Africans, they look at you like
you ain't gonna do what now? You ain't eating what?
Eh?
No meat?
It's literally foreign. Yeah. I'm not vegan. I love vegan food, but we're gonna talk about what we're doing today. Our activity is we're making smoothies.
I'm so proud of you.
Me too. Look at me using a blender for the third time
Look
ever.
At you.
Look at me.
Not for the third time ever.
No, I'm serious.
And that's so business.
That's
okay.
Literally the third time I've used.
And it's gonna be all right.
I've been a microwave girl, but I'm trying to free myself from the shackles of prepackaged food.
You're gonna do well.
And today we're making one of your recipes from your book, or no?
Well, no, we actually look like we're gonna freestyle it a little bit.
Okay, cool.
So we got many things here.
Yes.
And I understand that you don't always like certain things.
A lot of things.
Is there any fruit or veggie here that you don't like? Ooh. No mango?
I typically don't like frothy smoothies. Like, I just want to taste the fruit itself. So I probably won't use milk.
Okay, no almond milk. All right, so the thing is, when you're gonna make a smoothie, you usually have a little bit of liquid to help it blend.
Got it, okay.
Right, so I understand you don't like this, but you can also use like a juice, like an apple juice or a pineapple juice. You like pineapple? This is her business, and y'all can get out of it. If she don't like it, she don't like it. What kind of juice do you like, girl?
I'll do like a lemon.
A lemon juice?
Yeah. Is that too sweet?
Is it a lemon juice is sweet?
Like too sweet for this?
Girl, what lemon is sweet? A sour lemon?
You like a lemonade? It's probably different from like concentrate, right? It's probably like more tart if it's concentrate.
Baby, I thought you meant like fresh lemon juice.
Yeah.
You meant lemonade.
No, honestly, I don't really know what these.
Okay, we're gonna stay focused. It's gonna be all right.
I told you I'm here for the vibes.
You know what?
Let me tell y'all. I am cooked for. I'm not cooking.
Jackie got everything that you need in your life.
I do got
look like she is cooking down in the kitchen.
You would have thought.
But she make it look real good. But she got friends like me who gonna come over here and gonna help her and get it together.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So in these ingredients, some of these you chose yourself, and I God bless you for that. I have never had these all together.
That might be a bit too busy.
It is,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
you thinking what I'm thinking. Okay, so why don't we focus on maybe like a 2
I heard you say earlier you like a one ingredient.
I do like a
thing.
1 ingredient smoothie.
But let's go with 2 ingredients if you wanted to use 2. Maybe
Okay.
3 if you're feeling a little, what would you choose?
Definitely peach.
Okay, we're gonna go with some peaches and what else?
I think peach and strawberry would be,
That's gonna be cute.
I think that would be cute.
Peach and strawberry. All right.
It's between cherries and raspberries.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm thinking more raspberry.
Very good.
Okay, so do you eyeball it? Do you measure?
I cook from the spirit.
Oh.
So, and that is by looking at the things that you know that you like. So you'll put a little bit more of what you really like. A little less of what you don't. Right?
Yes, that's
So
true.
what
You
you
cook
think?
from the spirit. I was just in my head thinking like, I Postmates from the spirit, like I Instacart when Jesus leads me to it. But I like that as well,
That is also her business.
I'm gonna spiritually start with peach.
Let's go ahead. All right, we're gonna add our peaches in.
Okay.
So like that.
Nice and juicy.
Yeah, that seemed about right to you.
For both of us?
Well, you want to add some other things in there, but you put
True,
it how much
true.
ever you want. If you want to put more, put it in there. We're going by your spirit.
Will.
Yeah, and I've never used this blender, so I don't know how powerful she is.
Do you always do this with the fruit frozen?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
not all the time.
Okay.
If you want your smoothie to already be, smoothie-like,
Got it.
frozen is what's going to make it, like a smoothie. A little bit of agave you might like.
Do like agave.
You do?
Yeah, hand that.
All right, very good.
Hand that bad boy over.
Let's see how much you want to put in there.
I mean, I would probably do the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, that's your business. It's
But-
gonna be extra sweet.
Yeah, I
The
don't
peaches
know.
are already sweet. All these things are very sweet in there already.
I think that's good.
That's good.
Let me try to be good.
You gonna be good? Let's see if this blender does the trick for you. See what happens when you don't have any juice in there.
I see.
This is what would happen.
Got it.
So I was hoping that it was powerful enough
Enough.
to blend up the peaches. So that means we're gonna have to put a little something in there.
I can't do the milk. I can't.
No almond milk.
Mm-mm.
So what you got?
Like I only have the lemon.
Let's do that.
That's all I have. Let me see if I have.
It's gonna be
enough.
fresh. Tell me Jackie don't be cooking. Look at her. It's not enough juice.
Are you chomping it? We have cute little branded Forever Moon jars from our candle club. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
You will have to use, because this is thick. This smells amazing. And it's so pretty.
Cheers.
Very good, I see.
Oh, it's thick.
It's a little,
But
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That lemon, give it a little top. But
But you gotta really look.
it's like a dessert.
It is good. It's a little too good. I would definitely spoon eat this too. Cause it's so chunky.
You have some fresh, you eat blueberries. You like coconut? We thank you for joining us today. And we appreciate y'all coming into the kitchen with Jackie and myself. Join us next time when we discover all things that Jackie do like.
This is so good. So Tabitha, I would love to continue this conversation over into the great room.
I guess I'm all right.
Cheers.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Very good.
Okay, Tab, that was so fun making smoothies. Now we got to do something a little bit fun. I want to dive deeper.
Oh,
I want to get in your mind.
come on in here, girl.
That vegan mind of yours. I really want to know, in your own words, like, what do you define self-care as? Or what is self-care to you?
It is what it says, right? Self-care, making sure I am well, right? Inside, mentally, but also physically. And just taking time for myself, prioritizing me. That's really it. Self-care is prioritizing myself. Because a lot of times as a mom, a wife, as a woman, we put a lot of things before us. And so self-care means me first.
I really appreciate hearing that from moms, particularly because I want to hear more moms say that and own it and not feel guilt.
Yeah.
I know it's easy. I'm not a mom, so I can't understand that dynamic. Like, I don't understand what that feels like, but I like hearing other moms say, like, no, I'm first.
Yeah, it took a long time for me to get there.
That makes
right?
sense.
And
Yeah.
mom guilt is a real thing.
Yeah.
But what I realized is I was giving my kids a version of me that wasn't my best.
Oh.
And so if I start showing up for me first and I fill myself up and I feel really well, then I can be the best version of mom and wife.
For me, I have the opposite issue in that, like, I've been talking about this recently, like, a lot of my childhood wasn't a real childhood because I'm the oldest of 7.
Oh, wow.
So I was always, like, the third parent. So
Yeah.
those are usually, like, the women who, like, rebel a little bit. Like, not rebel, but, you know, we become a little bit more guarded. And I'm finding now, like, in my mid-30s that I'm just like, no, I'm not going to overextend anymore. Like, it's now me time.
Good for you.
Because y'all ain't my kids.
Exactly.
Go get your parents, all right?
But it's also really good that you have come into that before having children.
Well,
If you
finally,
wanna have
yeah,
kids.
finally. But I'm like just now learning that.
Yeah.
Like barely.
It took a long time for me to learn.
Yeah.
And I wasn't 36.
Damn.
I was closer to 40. And I had to get sick. I had to get to a very dark place in my life before I realized, wait, I haven't really been taking care of myself first. And I shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why would you? Like
The world
Yeah,
makes
that's
you,
true.
you know, the world will make you think that things have to be one way.
Yeah.
And old school tradition that, you know, women are supposed to, you know, just be at home taking care of everybody except themselves.
Overextending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I particularly felt that as like a child of an immigrant and as a Black woman. That like I feel like it's even more prevalent in our communities for sure.
Yeah. But it's not fair to us.
Not at all, because then how can I pour from an empty cup?
Exactly, honey, and we human.
Yeah.
We just like everybody else.
You can only extend so much
That's
until you're
right.
depleted. And then
Yeah.
when you have nothing left to give,
And then you be mad because we have an attitude. And you be like, what's wrong with her? She tired.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so instead of getting to that point, put you first.
Yeah.
Check in on yourself throughout the day,
True.
right? And be honest with yourself about like what you need and how you feel.
Okay, so Tabitha, walk me through one of your favorite vegan recipes and the story behind why it's your favorite.
I have a couple,
Okay.
but I will say, and I don't make this often just because my husband, he's not like a huge meatloaf like fan, but my mama used to make the best meatloaf. And so I make my mama's meatloaf, but I veganized it, of course. You know, she would make cream potatoes and green beans. It was like a staple that we had as a kid. And so it just reminds, you know, my mom has passed. So it just reminds me of my childhood. It just
Yeah.
gives me that like, I don't know, like a little warm hug.
Oh.
But I use, you know, sometimes I'll use mushrooms and pecans to make my meat instead of using like
Whoa.
store-bought. You could also, you know, get like a store-bought plant-based meat substitute.
Yeah.
But I also like to make my own with pecans, mushrooms, and then I'll use bell peppers, onions, and then season it with all my flavors of garlic and, you know, all my, a little sunshine if I want to, but whatever seasonings I want to use. But the topping is what makes it like remind me of my mama so much, because she always had like that perfect, you know how you have your ketchup topping on meatloaf? You know meatloaf. You eat meatloaf?
Not really. You know, no, it's not what you
Yeah.
think it is. I feel like it's not really like a West Coast thing.
Right. It's
So I
definitely
have
a southern thing. I
Yeah,
think.
it's like not really like a staple here, but yeah, I've had
It's
it
so
before,
good.
definitely.
So, but the top she would make sweet, so that you know
It's
you
like
have
tomatoey in the ketchup.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
so she would put like a little bit of ketchup, mustard, a little bit of brown sugar.
I love mustard.
It's so good.
I love mustard.
And you know, you put it on the top and you bake it, and then you slice it and have your cream potatoes with your green beans, and it's just good eating.
Anything with potatoes is an automatic.
Love a potato.
Potato, like they're just
Baby.
so good. Fingerling, crispy.
Baked potato.
All of them.
French fry, potato
All
soup.
of 'em.
I love them. You know my mama's favorite thing was potatoes.
Oh,
And so she loved them so much she would give them up every year for Lent.
whoa.
So this
That's
year,
dedication.
I gave them up this year for Lent in memory of my mom, because I love them so much too.
That's real commitment.
She was like, nobody should love potatoes the way I love potatoes. She was like, so every year
Preach
she'd be
though,
like,
preach.
I'm gonna have to get these up for 40 days.
That's like the
Yeah.
ultimate. Yeah, you give us
Yeah.
something you love to
Yeah.
like. Yeah,
Yeah, very true.
I respect that. I respect that. Oh, I love that. So it's not only for the taste of it, but it's
Yeah.
like it ties to something emotional.
It's a good
sentimental.
memory.
Yeah.
Most time we eat well, we eat with our eyes, right? But we eat with our feelings, right? And so sometimes for me with food, depending on how I feel, is what I want to eat. And sometimes, you know, I miss my mama and I want to eat something that reminds me of like her sitting at the table with me. And so we do things that will also bring back a good memory or a good feeling.
So that's like one of the things, like me and my friend were talking about this, and I was explaining to her how I'm not like, I don't have an emotional with food. Like I'm the opposite. Like I'm like, I eat because I have to, like it's whatever.
Interesting.
It's very strange.
So when you were growing up, how did food play a role?
It was just there. Like, I don't know. I don't have foods that like remind me. For me, that, like you describing your relationship with food is me with fragrance.
Because it's attached, scents are attached to memory.
That's my sense. Yeah, that's like my different sensorial thing. But food is like, I could just eat chicken every day. I don't care.
Right, but
like,
did y'all sit together as a family when you were growing up?
No, we didn't have like a family. No, we couldn't even afford a family dinner table.
Yeah.
We didn't eat. That's actually like a big reason why like I have that a part of my day-to-day, me and Dennis now. Like every day we have to eat one meal together. Breakfast. Most of the time it's breakfast or dinner, one or the other. But every single day, because I didn't really have that. Like neither of us really had that.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, I had like a lot of negative feelings around like being in the kitchen in general because I never liked to cook.
Yeah.
And in our community, it was very much like, well, what else do you have to offer? So for me, I felt like, well, I have everything else but cooking. So it was almost like another rebellious thing that I was like, I don't have to be good in the kitchen to be a woman. You know, like
very true.
It was a bit of a like, I don't know, like alpha thing that I was going through.
But that also makes sense to why you don't have like feelings attached to food.
So Tabitha, as you know, this industry can be very harsh, very critical when you're a creator. How do you maintain being genuine and positive and uplifting, which is very hard to do, might I add, amidst all of that?
You know, for me, I don't really focus on the industry. I just focus on myself and my family, like my own truth. Like a lot can be true. It can be a dark industry, it can be mean, it can be harsh, but also I can be light and I can be love, and both things can coexist. You can't have one without the other, right? And so I focus on the good. I focus on the good, and that's my business. The good is my business, like focusing on things that make me happy, also wanting to spread love to other people, you know, making people laugh or eat well and just be well. I don't really focus on the negative.
Yeah.
You know, I went through a very dark time in my life, and dark is no fun. And I always I prayed and I was like, God, if I ever make it out of this dark, space, I'm always focus on the light. So I just am intentional with focusing on light.
And I feel like it's authentic to you because sometimes I feel like there are people who push like be happy above everything. And I don't necessarily think that works for everybody. And I don't get that vibe from you. What I get is that's just natural and authentic to you, and you're not trying to be something that you're not, and you're not trying, like, because you talk about, those dark periods in your content. You shared stories. So I'm not getting this like toxic positive veil where you're like, well, just be happy. And it's like, not really, like
you're not being real.
Exactly. Like life still happens. And from you, I feel like it's actually genuine, and that's just like who you are as a person. Whereas a lot of other people, sometimes it's like,
I don't know about this.
Is this a persona? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, everybody's allowed to make what kind of content or fill whatever role that they feel comfortable in. But, sometimes as a viewer, you still like, oh, this is a person's brand versus this is Tabitha. Like, that's her personality. Yeah. And I think the difference is very, very obvious, and it is very much authentic on you.
And I always tell people, I have bad days too.
Of course.
Right? I'm human. But I want to focus on the good.
Yeah.
But I'll share, like, when things are bad, or when my heart is heavy. I'm very much so empathetic, and I feel people's energy. And so some days are, tough for me.
Yeah, that must be hard.
Yeah, and so some days I'm sad, just because I'm thinking about the condition of the world.
Yeah.
But majority of the time, my husband will tell you, I'm just a naturally happy person.
Yeah.
That's just my normal spirit.
Can you share with me a time you've ever received like a message or a story from a fan that was like life-changing or just really, really special?
It is more times than I can count.
Oh my God, I love that.
And it never gets old.
Yeah.
You know, it's always kind of mind-blowing to me when you realize like, oh, this is what purpose is. You know, just me being true and telling my story and sharing my life, and it has helped somebody else in their life. So many people who contemplating suicide who said, I was, you know, asking God for a sign and one of your videos just popped up. And I didn't take the pills, or, you know, I didn't do it. A lot of people, especially with my vegan journey and sharing what I eat, I've never told anybody you should go vegan. I just simply said, this is why I did it. This is how it changed my life and saved my life. So many people will message me, or I'll meet in person, and they'll say, girl, I was a diabetic. I had high blood pressure. I was on this medication. I started eating like you for 6 months. I've lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I'm not on medication anymore. I'm not a diabetic anymore. You changed my life. You saved my life. And those are the moments where I'm like, oh, this is what God had intended for me. And so it's not one I can just focus on because there's so many of them. But I am so grateful to know like, oh, this is how God intended to use my life.
And were you even thinking that far ahead when you first started?
Absolutely
You were like,
girl, first of all,
crazy.
I never wanted to do content. That was not my thing because I'm an actress, right? So
it's very different.
it's very different.
Yeah.
And when, as an actor, you're told, it used to always be, don't do social media, nobody's gonna take you, you know, seriously if you get on the internet. And so I was always trying to like stay away from it. And so when I started doing content, it was only because God told me to. And I was like, I don't know what to do content about. What am I doing? And so I used to be telling jokes because I was a comedian, right? So I used to go do stand-up trying to get a TV show.
Yeah.
So when I got sick, I couldn't do stand-up anymore. And so I started doing like the same jokes and stuff, sitting on the couch or on my bed and telling, you know, these stories about being a mom and being a wife. And after doing that for a couple of weeks is when I decided to do a vegan challenge. And then when I went vegan, I heard God speak to me and say, now tell people what you're eating.
Wait, so you went vegan while you were becoming a creator?
Yeah.
At the same time?
That's how it all started.
Oh, I thought you already were. Okay, got it.
No, so 2017 I became vegan. I went on a 30-day vegan challenge, August 1st of 2017.
Yeah.
And because I had had a headache for a year and 7 months. Right, I got sick in 2016.
Oh my God.
Had this headache in the back of my head every single day, a year and 7 months. It would not go away.
That's terrifying.
Went to the doctor multiple times, multiple MRIs, blood work, everything would come back normal. I started having chronic fatigue, chronic pain throughout my body. And so they were like, well, something is attacking your body, your autoimmune system is attacking itself, but we can't figure it out. And so I was depressed. I was having manic panic attacks because I was like, something is wrong with me, and I thought I was gonna die. And so my daughter came home from school and was like, Mama, you should watch this documentary we saw at school, and it was What the Health on Netflix. And so when they started talking about not all diseases are hereditary, is that sometimes we eat the same thing that can cause the same disease in our family. My mama died at 51 of a rare disease. There's no cause or cure for ALS. My daddy is the oldest man to ever live in our family at 71 years old, right? And so I was like, well, the only thing we have in common is how we eat. And so I decided to do a 30-day vegan challenge. And so my husband, I was like, let's do it together as a family. In the first 10 days, my headache disappeared. And I had tried every doctor, like, listen, every drug the doctors gave me, I was getting shots in my head, shots in my spine. I was on prednisone, I was on all kind of drugs, and nothing was working.
Sketchy.
In 10 days, my headache disappeared.
Wow.
And so after the 30 days, I was like, oh, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my life, and I became vegan. And so when I said it out loud,
I'm shook.
the voice that I heard that told me to start doing videos in the beginning whispered in my ear like a hummingbird and said, now tell people what you're eating in your videos. And I was like,
oh my God.
And that's why I started doing videos about food.
I feel like that'd be like a lot of pressure because.
Oh, it was. For many reasons.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening in the vegan community. Like, if you not, I see the way other people just be talking. I'm like,
listen, I was getting all kind of like crazy messages.
Yeah,
and, you know, but also nobody was watching my videos in the beginning.
Also, you know, you got
I had like 30 people watching. I was like,
experiment.
Lord, you got me doing videos for what? Because in prayer, God spoke to me. He said, listen, when you were trying to get a TV show, you were doing stand-up, you was reaching 15, 30 people a night. But if you start doing videos, you're gonna reach thousands in minutes. And I was like, Lord, I ain't got thousands of followers. Who am I reaching minutes? He was like, start doing videos. So I started doing the videos. And so when I started, you know, talking about food, I was like, oh Lord, I have I did the big chop, shaved off all my hair because I always wore my hair long and straight.
Tabitha, you was going through a lot.
This-
Like, oh my
I
God.
always wore my hair long and straight. I was always very small because I was an actor.
Yeah.
So I always conformed. I always code switched. I always
Yeah.
covered my accent. Everything was Hollywood perfect.
Yeah.
And so God said, I can't bless who you're not. Like you somebody else. I can't bless that person. I gotta bless who you are.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So I had to start taking those layers off. So I was so afraid.
Yeah.
So I was doing these videos trying to I was on my healing journey, but also trying to get back to my true self.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a girl from North Carolina. Like, all my family is still in North Carolina. Me and my husband are from the same small town. We go home all the time. Like, everybody knew, like, this is the Tab that I created. But now I gotta be the true Tab that God wants me to be. So I was on these videos like, Lord, it is 12 people watching. That's my family in North Carolina. Like, I don't even know, because I would cook live every day at 5 o'clock in my kitchen.
Oh my God, how cute.
And I'd be like, Lord, you told me thousands of people would be watching. It is 33 people on here. Like, what has happened? Some days I would cry in my kitchen.
33 ain't zero though.
Listen.
33
and it was all my
ain't
family.
zero
It
though.
would be like all my family.
But they was there though.
But that was August of 2017. And then October, I was feeling so much better because I was on disability for a year.
Wow.
And then unemployment, like I was just going through it. And I told my husband, I was like, you know what? I feel better now. You know, I want to get back to like auditioning and getting, you know, some acting jobs. I'm gonna go drive Uber. So this was October of 2017. I went to go drive Uber and I was like, I'm gonna get discovered in my car. Cause honey, we in LA, I'm gonna pick up a director or a producer, somebody, they gonna love Tab.
I love the strategy.
Yes, it's gonna go down. And so I started driving Uber in October. December 30th, I dropped somebody off by Whole Foods. And I was like, oh, Whole Foods always got a vegan option. I'm a new vegan. I'm gonna go in here, give me a little breakfast. Went in there. I had never heard of vegan bacon before. And I was like, oh, they got a sandwich called a TTLA. Let me get this. Ate the first half of the sandwich because I'm on my little Uber break in my car. I was like, oh, I need to tell people I found a new vegan option and share with them, you know, do a video. Did a video, went back to driving Uber. I didn't think nothing of the video because nobody was really watching. My videos would get a couple hundred views, you know, in a week. I got home and turned my notifications on.
I know this story.
And that video had started going viral. And I was like, well, Lord, who watching the video? You know, the next morning, 100 and some thousand. And I told my husband, I was like, I think I'm going viral.
Was this on Instagram or TikTok?
On Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
It was on Facebook.
Got it.
And so that's how it all started.
Yeah.
That's how, from that day, all my videos would get thousands of views a minute. And so everything God had spoke to me and told me about creating content started to happen. It has happened ever since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But being obedient is the only reason I'm here.
Are there any misconceptions or like stereotypes about vegans that you want to debunk?
One that most people think is that we don't get protein. People are like, where do you get your protein from if you're
Based
not
on
eating
what?
meat? Because, you know, most people eat like steak or beef or
I
you
don't
know,
eat
chicken
steak or beef.
for protein. They eat meat for protein. And so I'm like, well, most of those animals only eat plants.
What advice would you offer to Black women who really struggle to take care of themselves mentally and physically?
It's really about putting yourself first and also dropping the thought of, I have to be a strong Black woman. No, you don't.
Says who?
You are a Black woman, honey.
Yeah.
And that is enough alone.
Yeah.
And so giving yourself grace, patience, understanding, right? And allowing yourself to, you know, have your moments and be okay with that. And also being okay with not being okay sometimes and being honest about it. You all right? You don't have to be strong all the time. And that is good for your mental health.
Okay, Tab, you can cook with one person, your dream collab, dead or alive. Who would you choose to cook with?
I would cook with my mother.
Oh,
Because I never got to do that because I wasn't in the kitchen when she was alive.
wow.
Yeah. So like it wasn't like a thing other than, you know, she would teach me over the phone because I was already living with my husband. And so I was like, I don't know how to feed this man, you know, so certain things. But we never got to really cook together.
Yeah.
And so I would love that.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
You got to give me one answer. The first thing that comes in mind. You can't think too long about it. No more than 5 seconds.
Okay.
Just boom, okay?
All right.
It pains me to ask this because I already know the answer. But North Carolina or LA?
Well, it depends.
Okay, I'm open. But overall,
It really depends.
I know LA. It's okay.
I'm gonna say North Carolina because all my family's.
I mean, that's your hometown. Like, I give you that.
I know. But
I'll
I
let you
also
eat that
have
one
raised
time.
kids in LA. And I've created home here with them.
North Carolina food or California food?
California food.
Whoa, I was not expecting that.
I know.
I'm surprised.
I know.
North Carolina weather or LA weather?
LA weather. Except for the holidays.
Vegan barbecue or vegan tacos?
Vegan tacos. I love it. When I say I love Mexican food, I love it.
Last final round. Cookouts or In-N-Out?
Oh, it would be Cookout for me.
Oh my God, well, thank you for doing
having
this.
me.
This was so awesome.
You're amazing.
And where can everybody find you?
All right. Well, listen, y'all can check me out at IamTabithaBrown.com for my cookbook, my journals, my inspirational book, Feeding the Soul, my children's show, my merch, all the things, and more things coming soon at Target. Love y'all. Shall I end it how I end videos?
How do you do it?
Well, I say thank you to you first. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank y'all for watching. And until the next time, honey, y'all go about y'all business and have the most amazing day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's here. Love y'all. God bless you.
Is she told no lies there? Can't disagree with that.